Hi, my name is Erica, co-founder and CEO of Inwit. We help consumers enjoy their takeout waste-free. Every year in Canada, we throw away over 1 billion disposable takeout away containers. And Canadians care. 70% of people identify as conscious consumers, and for 67% that have used a food app, overpackaging is one of the most common complaints. At Inwit, we are committed to solving this problem. We are Canada's first zero waste takeout app. So next time you want to order some takeout for pickup, go to inwit.ca and you will receive your food in our beautiful reusable containers. Once you are done, give it a quick rinse and return it to any participating location. The faster you do so, the more points you will earn. All our containers are tracked with the same technology we use when we borrow a library book. And our restaurant partners love us. We help them keep their customers happy, their food hot, and save money. We take only a 3% commission from our restaurant partners, and our prices include a 15% rental fee for our users. In the last 6 months, we have launched our app, gained over 400 users, onboarded 13 restaurants, and we are happy to report a 100% return rate of our containers within 7 days. The most important, our technology was recognized as one of the top 10 solutions globally, creating low-carbon cities. Our team has over 20 years of combined experience in marketing, technology, sales, and logistics. Following Jan Skelly's advice, we were able to quantify our market opportunity, and we are very excited to tap into this exciting industry. Join the movement. Tag us on social media. Tell your friends. Every action matters. Thank you very much. And we'll follow with Clément for our questions and answers. Thank you.
Hello, Clément.
Hi.
Thanks to your colleague Erica for her great pitch. I'm wondering if you can tell me a little bit about what your plans are for scaling up.
Yes, so we have a couple of ideas to scale up. One of them is for catering for companies. So we've started that, and we see that it's a great way to address a bigger market. We are also targeting universities and students, so looking at getting closer to university, having more restaurants around them, and animating some students group to order through us, to get through events. We believe this will be the next generation that will order through our app.
I was wondering, restaurants are an extremely low margin business. How does the 3% that you charge the restaurant compare to what they're currently paying for food packaging cost?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, we try to compare ourselves not just to the packaging, disposable packaging that they pay, but also to what they pay to a normal food app. So a food app take between 15 to 30% of cost to these restaurants. So this 3% seems really low compared to that. And if we look at the disposable in themselves, it's about $1 per order approximately. And so the 3% is not that far away from that.
And just a follow-up, you mentioned you compare yourself to the food apps. How does it work if someone went to your website when it comes to things like delivery, or because that's a big part of the food apps as well?
Correct. We are not yet doing delivery. We're only doing delivery, for instance, for professional services such as catering, in which we include them in our price. We are starting to work with other companies that do delivery in a mindful way, so some co-ops that are in Toronto, and we're still looking at what the business model will be to do this delivery and to charge a delivery. But what we want to do is probably charge a delivery as we are charging today to the end user rather than to the restaurant, so that we protect the restaurant industry.
Now you've brought one of the containers to show us. Are there different size containers? Like, are there any issues with, different food types? I mean, if I'm, my family eats a wide variety of takeout food.
Yes.
So maybe you could talk about that a little bit.
So that's one of the first things that we thought about. We wanted a container that is very versatile and that could have a lot of different food types. While this container achieves that, of course, it cannot cater for all the different foods. We have smaller jar size to do like the side sauce that could go with the main and things like that. We've also explored the sushi trays so that we can cater to the specific markets. In the future, we want to expand, for instance, coffee cup or other containers that may be needed depending on the food type. One particular one would be for burgers, for instance, or for maybe at some point pizza.
And is there extra, like you talked about in the pitch, customer gives the container a quick rinse and returns it somewhere. What happens to the containers when they're returned?
So the restaurants take them, wash them, sanitize them, and then scan them back in their inventory. And like that, it becomes part of their inventory, and it can just go back into the next order.
And so I presume then that you have the responsibility of ensuring that the participating restaurants have enough inventory.
Correct.
Because I could give out to all of my containers in a day and they could be returned elsewhere.
Correct, exactly. So because all our containers are tracked, like with the library system, we know the inventory of each of our restaurant partners, and we know when they are becoming low, and in which case we would go and deliver more containers to them. To be honest, in the past 6 months, this happens very rarely, because usually there is an organic flow of containers, I would say.
Right.
So we've not seen a lot of logistic movements.
And what are you forecasting for like loss?
Yeah, it's a good point. So on the loss side, we're forecasting about a 10% loss. So that would be loss due to wear and tears, or loss that cannot be attributed to either a restaurant or a consumer. The containers that we've chosen are high quality, and so we expect them to be able to be used for up to 10,000 times before we need to change them. So this is really this 10% is really for the unfortunate event.
And from a competition perspective, is anyone else doing anything similar to this elsewhere in the world that you know of, or are you pretty novel with this?
The way we're doing it is different from almost everyone else in the market. We've chosen to not be just a reusable container system that we've seen competitors doing. We've chosen to be an integrated solution that is both the reusable and the food app, so that for the end user, it's one company that they need to interface with, and it's a seamless experience. So for your question, sorry, yes, there is competition, but slightly different models.
And you've built your own technology to run your back end and do the management of all of the equipment and the orders and so on?
Yes, correct. That was a little bit of a challenge at the beginning, but we've learned a lot, I think, in the past year of developing the technology side. We've onboarded a Mo, which is on the tech side, who has a lot of experience in technology, and that gives us quite a strength to continue and develop the next iterations.
I'll be perfectly honest. I really like that container. It would probably stay at my house. So how do you deal with that?
So what we've seen before is that The first time we tried to address the problem, we did it through a deposit. So it was a front-end deposit kind of. So you would pay the deposit when you take your meal. That was quite a barrier for entry for users. So this one is a kind of back-end deposit. So if you want to keep the containers, you can. And there is a button on our app where you can select and purchase the containers so that you can keep it with you.
So from an inventory perspective, I think you talked about this, but I wasn't sure I understood it. Does the restaurant tell you when they're running low on containers?
Yeah, so either or. Sometimes they do tell us, but we also have on the back end an inventory where we see all the restaurants and how many containers.
But how do you know that inventory is accurate? Like, is there like?
Oh, sorry. Each of the containers is tracked with an NFC tag.
That's what I was.
So it's scanned in and out every time.
Okay, but they have to physically scan it?
Correct.
Okay.
How do you plan to get customers to your website? You're probably competing, to some ways against some of the big other food apps and.
Yes. We have different ways to market. I think one of them that has been working very well is around community and community events and community engagements. People are less and less interested, I would say, into the bigger food app because they start to understand their impact on the restaurants. They are more and more interested in kind of community events, supporting their local restaurants, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one of the ways that we target our users. We also target them through content. So we try to create content such as blog posts, podcasts that resonate with our target audience. And as I was mentioning, we'll try to grow as well in the future around universities. By having some ambassadors that talk about our brands, organize events over there, etc., to create a brand recognition program, basically, and to place our brand as one of the leaders in the circular economy market in Canada.
This was really an interesting presentation, and I also agree. I love the container. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for your time as well.